welcome to another episode of 1 Degree of Scandalous with the man, Cato Kalin.
He's here.
Right over there. I'm Tom Zenner.
This is not an Instagram filter. This is how I look today.
You know, he looks good. He sounds good. He is the K-Train, and we're excited to be here again. Great episode planned for you today. We have an awesome guest, a fellow family member of Action Park Media here, Sean Avery, man of multiple talents.
Boy, I'm telling you, I did Sean's show, and but if you Google Sean Avery, 12 years in NHL, and he looks like he could still play.
Yeah, and he's very entertaining. He's got a personality.
God.
He was a bad boy in the NHL, and he's got the stories to back it up. So we're looking forward to that.
Also, a very impressive acting resume.
He's an actor. He's a writer. He's an artist. He's an artist.
I'm telling you what, you don't want to grow up with this guy. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he's been in TMZ a lot, and I think the TMZ. I'm not positive, but I think he did some jujitsu on possible.
Well, you are not mistaken. Sean Avery has been in multiple pages of TMZ stories over the years, and we'll talk about a few of them. But
we should have a TMZ off one day.
No, let's do that. We should do that with every guest. Okay? All right, we're going to do that. Hey, by the way, great seeing you at our Super Bowl party in Manhattan Beach. Our good friends Kyle and Christine throw probably one of the best parties for the Super Bowl in LA.
I'll tell you what, I used to go to the mansion for the Super Bowl parties every year when Hef was alive. And this party with Kyle and Christina, Christine's party and Kyle was off the chart. Beyond top shelf, everything was top shelf. The booze, the food, and it was constant food. They had like 15 waiters and waitresses dropping food off. Then you had the entrees, and then you couldn't not be stuffed.
Exactly. And they had appetizers. It came out in waves. And this is at their home.
At a bowling
their family house. They have a bowling alley in their basement. But no one throws a party like these guys. And Cato would know because he's been to every single party in L.A. over the last 30 years.
Also, I remember doing all Kyle's friends doing videos for them with Kyle.
Cato's a big hit when he comes to Manhattan Beach. It is a lot of fun.
Boy, I'm telling you, I can't wait for the next party. When is their next party?
There's an unofficial party at their house pretty much every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So come on by anytime. It's like Vegas. It's a vortex. There's no clocks, so you walk out of there at 3 a.m.
Was I drinking, or was
you had one or two, and it was awful nice to see you have a cocktail.
Was the Elsa from Frozen there, or was I?
Yes, she was. Elsa from
Frozen was there.
Yes, she was.
Oh,
she was singing for the kids, entertaining. Great game. The Super Bowl, good, right? I mean,
good game. And I'll say this, and there's quite a few people that agreed with me, and I believe it is gambling is going to ruin football. There's always been gambling, but now it's open gambling where you can bet. Because the holding call, I will stick with it. You don't call that, even if it's barely a holding. The pass was uncatchable. I'll just say that. Worst way to end it.
Nothing lets the air out of a room like a play like that where the referees just take center stage. Let them settle it on the field. Right. Just. I know you're tempted, zebra, but just pull that arm back. You don't need to do it.
Great game all the way, but that ruined the great game. So I will say now that was not a great game.
It was for Patrick Mahomes' legacy. It was huge because he would have been 1-2 if they had lost that Super Bowl.
58 minutes of great football.
Losing 2 Super Bowls, that's not great, right? But now he's 2-1, and he has the GOAT in sights, Tom Brady. At least he thinks he does. Never. Brady's records are good forever. All right, you know what? Okay, I moved. We can talk a little about it more, but I've had a busy week. I moved, so I'm excited about that. I want you to come out and check out the new place. Tom Lang has a big show coming up. Your buddy Tom Lang.
Yeah, Tom Lang has got a show. It's going to be on the Reels Network. I think it's going to be on this Sunday. I don't know what this show will go up, but
watch for it because it airs live. And if you pick this up like several days after we tape this, it's all. He talked to us about this.
Yeah.
Right. So go back and watch the Tom Lang episode that we had probably
I'm gonna see it
6 months ago, 7-8 months ago. Tom Lang, man, you talk about a stud. You talk about a cowboy. You talk about a legend for LAPD. I mean, this guy broke the Hillside Strangler case. He was the lead detective in the OJ case. He was involved in multiple serial killer shows here. What was it? The Woodland? Woodland murders?
I'm running it here.
No, the Wonderland. The Wonderland murders.
And that's Tom's voice right there. But here's it's called Blood Lies and Murder, premieres Sunday.
on the Reels Network.
Yeah, and the thing that we talked about with Tom on our show, which is great, and I think his book is actually called Evidence Withheld. It's all the evidence, and he has it. He also has a blood splatter specialist that I've seen on numerous Netflix shows and Forensic Files. And it's like I said, it's a warehouse of all evidence. I think there's over 500 pieces.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He said all this stuff they had, but they weren't allowed to use in the trial for whatever reason. I'm fascinated to find out why they couldn't use it. But he was talking about this show. He was proud of it. Yeah. And if you watch the trailer, it's a very well-produced show.
Yeah, out of Buck Productions, and Greg Donis was the director of this, and he did an incredible job.
Is it weird for you watching the trailer thinking, I know this guy so well, I know this piece of evidence, I was there, I'm aware of this? How much? But you're used to it at this point.
No, it was never. I didn't know when I was new. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was there. I didn't know.
They didn't have your old mannequin that used to have the naked mannequin. That's one of the best Cato stories right there.
That's it. I think that's. I don't think it's mentioned. It might be, but we'll see. Watch that, and I think we're getting kicked out. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sure. It's time. If Sean Avery's looking at us because he has to tape his show next. Well, how about this? How about we bring Sean Avery in? Let's take a little break, and we're going to go to our guest interview with the one and only Sean Avery.
Get out of the penalty box, Sean. Get in here.
All right, Cato, here we go. Let's bring in our guest.
Out of the penalty box.
Damn, for a guy that played so long in the NHL and got involved in, he wasn't afraid of a little physical altercation down there. You look good.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You really, I know.
I don't feel great because I just started taking jiu-jitsu. So
I know him. He's a great dude.
He's a good dude.
Joe, down the block, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, different. You do the actual art form of fighting.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's God. Sean Avery.
Sean Avery!
Host of a great podcast, No Gruffs Given, with Sean
gentlemen.
Avery. And by the way, let me just jump in on this right away. Sean, I know that you had Cato on your show probably 2 weeks ago. It aired last week. And I think one thing you and I have in common is this natural curiosity of that whole situation.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I grew up in a time, too, where you had 3 stations. I was obsessed with media. It was my out for where I grew up, a small town in Minnesota, right? I needed, my goal was to get out, get to California, play football, the whole thing. So I was obsessed with anything, especially pop culture, and especially California. Yeah. First time I ever came to LA, I freaking wanted to stay. I was 13. I was going to see if I could figure that out, and I was just obsessed with it. But I have to compliment you, and I told Cato this. I was texting him as I was listening. The way you did that interview, and it was because of your natural curiosity and the fact that you were engaged. And what was the one thing that you learned talking to Cato that you didn't know about the whole saga with OJ?
So first of all, Cato's a legend. Okay, let's just put it out there for you. All right, it's okay.
He is, man.
You are.
I was telling Tom, you're fucking.
Just
great.
take it. I know it feels uncomfortable to have another man compliment you. I know it's normal.
But if it doesn't happen to Cato, he gets really upset.
Oh well, that's normal also.
Look, we haven't even gotten a one-liner yet. What the hell?
He's blushing.
I'm blushing.
Okay, so well, there's a couple of things. First of all, the one thing, and I don't know if we talked about it, I think it came to me afterwards, was Cato telling me that he had a dream that he spoke to Goldman's sister, that like he was the one that screwed up the timeline, right? Because Cato invited himself to dinner, which ended up becoming McDonald's. And when that hit me, I immediately thought, for some reason, there was probably a lot of people that had survivor's guilt on like 9/11. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I immediately went there with it, but that's a real thing. Yours was in a little bit of an inverted pattern, but it still feels the same.
Yeah, and I did Kim Goldman's podcast. I told Kim Goldman that exact same thing.
Okay, Kim.
And she just said, no, it's not your fault. It's just that I invited who knew?
Yeah.
I just invited myself, and then in hindsight, I go, I screwed up the timeline.
Yeah.
That timeline was
Well, time is an interesting, timelines are like, I don't know, right now, today, currently, topically, politically, like timelines seem to be very important. And just, everything's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Everything is timing. It's like, 10 seconds ago, I never would have gotten that car crash. So everything is timing, especially for comedians.
Yeah.
Timing's very important.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
Cato,
Yeah,
you've lived with this for 29 years now. Yeah. Unbelievable. Do you like talking about it? Doesn't it help though when someone's engaged and has done their homework and has a natural curiosity?
I told you right after I said, Sean did, I think, one of the best interviews because you made me excited to be here because I've talked about it forever, but it felt like it was the first time, and it was, it's just, because you're good at what you do.
I had a lot of people reach out to me that are in our sort of demographic that were just enthralled. They said, like, we could have listened to Cato. Oh, my God, what a great interview. Because it's real. Like, I remember, we all remember it. It's real. It's this whole thing, like this podcast game, I think it's very interesting because I think there's a lot of bad ones. And I think the good ones, they don't necessarily, people haven't found them yet.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. There's a big middle of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's so many people that do one or two, think they have a podcast and it's not there. That's why you have 3 million worldwide. Yeah. But the opportunity to go there at the very top, if you're committed, if you know what you're doing, if you push and promote and treat it like a science, which is what it is, and you're good, you're compelling, you're entertaining. That's why. The other thing you and I think, Sean, have in common is we both think that there's this big thing for Cato. I told him that when I said, let's do this podcast, because I think there is one freaking huge thing, and I'm hoping this is it, or at least it springs it to him. But how can it not with his talent and personality?
So we obviously all know the importance. Like, this is a story that can be retold numerous times. I mean, they've made 3 movies about the Menendez brothers. Okay, we're talking about the biggest cultural shift in American pop culture. So there's a ton of POVs. The most interesting POV to me at this point, and I watch everything, is from Cato's POV because he was really the true outsider in that group. I mean, I know Nicole, they had you came in as a totally different set of eyes. Like, you shouldn't have been there, right. So everything that we see now, I want to see that story really told. And I want to see the blossoming of the relationship. Like, I don't know, the first time you met OJ with Nicole, and now I'm starting to really build something where do you guys watch The Last of Us?
No, you're the second person that mentioned. I
hear
all about it.
You have to watch it.
Okay, I will.
But I heard it's woke.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Sean would know.
No.
Okay, if he says no, it's not.
No, somebody might have said that because
Sean would have thrown his TV out the window if it was.
Yeah. There's a gay
and he would have tracked down the director.
That was the episode my buddy saw. He said, I can't watch it because that was the one he turned into. It was a gay episode.
Well, then your buddy is a raging conservative.
Yeah. How do you like my shoes, by the way? I feel bad wearing shoes at college because it's nothing to do with gay pride. It has nothing to do with Ukraine. It's just that they were on sale.
That's all it takes.
If you don't see them there.
Hey, by the way, what we're talking about is Sean's episode of his podcast. So go listen to the whole thing. It's on the Action Park Media Network. No Gruffs Given with Sean Avery. It's a really dynamic and excellent combo.
Listen to all of Sean's podcasts.
But I think to wrap that up, definitely we want to see that. We want to see that. And somebody cool make it. You know? Not, I don't want it cookie cutter. Like, I don't want to see Ryan Murphy make this. I want to see somebody like cool.
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Yeah, that would be.
And let's kick some ideas around.
By the way, could you imagine? I mean, could you imagine giving it that much juice and how good it would be? That now you're talking like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Did you say juice?
That's funny.
Good catch.
But
pardon
you're
the
right.
pun.
It would be
the juice is loose.
The juice, but you're right because I really do. It's someone like that to be creative.
And then obviously the quality of actors you would get. It would just take that thing into a whole. That's what it deserves because that was I don't want to use this. It was the golden age. I mean, of L.A. and Nicholson was still young. Like this, we're talking. Those were good years, right?
Right. It was the kind of the DiCaprio, the prime.
Yes.
DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire's, the Wilson brothers. It was even like a Vince Vaughn. It was all the Wedding Crashers. It was just. It was just a great time, and it wasn't. It was just starting the social media, starting it, but it wasn't taking over. Not everybody was filming at a party at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah,
there just was enough privacy. And craziness.
You know, it's ironic. We had Jill Shively on the show here a couple of weeks ago, the witness who saw OJ leave the crime scene.
Unbelievable.
And then the car went on a median. Just think if that happened now, they'd really get OJ for murder because he would have taken out a homeless encampment.
Yeah.
If he had gone onto the median, could you imagine? He would have gone down 50, 60, 80 years for that, for sure.
It depends what street you're on, but sure. I mean, even at that time, just in that period, like Nirvana, there was a grunge movement too happening,
exactly.
right?
Seattle was everything was Seattle, Soundgarden.
So
Chicago Bulls, Michael, you name it.
To think about all the cultural reference points that you could touch in that show, that wouldn't be the norm, like that Beverly Hills bubble gum, whatever bullshit you would imagine was around that time.
Yeah,
you got something really cool there, really cool. So I hope, all we can do is try and manifest it.
I say we brainstorm and we make it happen.
Yeah.
Make some calls.
Tarantino would be.
That would be the way for him to go.
When you say that, it's not. I'm not like, come on, Kato, Tarantino. No, you're fucking. And that would be something that he would. I feel like it's weird enough and crazy enough for him to say, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And he could take real life events and write them and not start from scratch.
Yeah.
And have to compose a 3-hour screenplay from nothing, right? I mean, at this point in his life, I think this would be I don't think he's done one that's based on a real story. Right? I don't think Pulp Fiction was real.
No, but he does this long form. You do 8 or 12 episodes. But I think he's about to start something. But okay.
So hey, by the way, the name of this podcast is 1 Degree of Scandalous, and damn, if we don't have the perfect former NHL player for that.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Do you like to talk about it?
I mean,
is it like OJ talking about what happened 30 years ago?
No. It was.
You didn't kill anybody on ice.
I didn't kill anybody on ice.
Sure as hell tried though, didn't you?
Yeah, you would always have there was like a violence barometer. I don't think it ever got above 8, which is hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Kill would be a 10.
Do you think you were more lethal verbally, maybe as a trash talker, or what you could say you could get under guys' skin?
Yeah.
You seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
What is there an art and a science behind that, or are you just that damn good?
No, I think you have to be light. You got to be quick. You got to be ready. You have to have done it before. And you have to. There's an emotional thing to it because you really you got to get inside somebody's soul, right? Which is you're not like sticks and stones on the playground. You got to really psychologically affect this person that you're trying to dominate or intimidate or even in a weird way flirt with, like annoy so much that they just want to snap. Yeah. So there's a science to it. There's not a lot of people that are great at it. It's an interesting part of sport because hockey actually allows it. So like basketball, you can't really do that. You remember Reggie Miller? They would talk a little bit of shit. In a hockey game, the shit talking it's constant. It's like the whole entire time. Yeah. They don't police it. They don't try and stop it.
Yep.
It's really kind of amazing that it's still allowed.
So let's say you're playing like the Islanders or something, and you obviously know a lot of the players. Do you know going in that you're going to say something maybe about a girlfriend or a wife or something that you know will just bug the shit out of someone? Like your wife's a dog. I don't know what you would say, but do you know that going in, like, I'm going to start, guys, get ready for this one because I'm going to say this at this time, and I'm going to just...
Yeah, so wives were generally, for the most part, off limits, but there's a lot of young guys, single guys on teams. Yeah. Did I ever say something to a guy who, like, so listen, so a family in Canada, 2 of the boys play hockey, and there's 2 sisters. One of the sisters ends up being really cute, really athletic. No. She grew up with 2 hockey players. She likes hockey players. Maybe she dated a few hockey players in college, or whatever it is. Or she's dating one now. There was always different touch points. Never went after somebody who, had a brother that was a drunk or a criminal or anything like that. there was always enough to go after guys individually that you really didn't have to stray out of it.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen a guy do something stupid at some point,
and you remind him of it. You poke him with it. You prod him with it. You know, I think psychologically you get in their head before because you're used to trash talking on the ice. What can you really say?
Yeah.
Because they can throw an elbow in your face to retaliate. But if you start that 2 nights before, a week before, where they know they're facing you at Madison Square Garden, and you had made this comment about their ex-girlfriend or their current girlfriend, they're looking for you, right? And then their mind isn't on the game like it normally would be. I think that's where you get the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, you can also, it was also, hey, you know, athletes we all think that they're superhuman, but everyone has insecurities, right? So there were some physical features on guys that, like, you know, you just knew that everyone knew that it was a sore topic with them, whether it was a guy's weight. You go after an athlete for their weight, and it's coming from another athlete.
Yeah,
that's an insecure moment. I mean, you're not, you know, it's like schoolyard games a little bit, but calling a guy fat but also you got to go at him too. So you got to kind of be able to bump him a little bit, and that's the beauty that we have too.
Okay, so this one is one of my favorite though, and you said we could talk about anything.
Yeah,
but this was good. This was a long time ago.
Yeah,
2008, referring to God, I loved her too. She was so good on 24. Alicia Cuthbert.
Yeah, that was I mean, people ask me if I have regrets. I don't have regrets, but that was one that I absolutely wish today that I didn't say. Okay. Like, especially as I'm a father, she has kids. You know, it was a young, wild, fast time. It was pre-cancellation of anything. You still could, you know, you got some leeway back then. It was sort of the old days, 2008, before the financial crash of 2009. You know, so
wait, what was said? I don't even know, Tommy.
I made a reference. She after we had stopped dating, she started dating a new hockey player, and there was also another gal, a wonderful, beautiful woman that I had previously dated as well, and then she started dating a hockey player. It was a perfect storm, and the Canadian media really kind of came in and they played it up, and they created a firestorm over it, because all the women were famous as well, and hockey players. It was just a rare crossover for Canada. So it was a perfect storm, and I just kind of played into their hand, I think a little bit on purpose. I didn't think what was going to happen would happen, which was maybe I did think it. I got suspended for 6 games, but
I can't believe Bettman suspended you that long for something you said. Can I repeat the quote? I mean, just for context or not?
Yeah.
We don't have to. We don't have to.
No, it's on the record.
And this was randomly one I picked. I had no idea that you regretted it. I wouldn't have brought it up.
Well, it's probably the one that comes up first when you
didn't
Google
know,
it.
so that's good news.
Well, he basically said, I just want to comment on how it's become like a common thing in the NHL for guys to fall in love with my sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. You're
26, probably, right?
I was a kid.
24,
I was
25?
Yeah. I was a kid, no question. It was a different time.
Don't beat yourself up on that one, Sean.
No. But what happened was I ended up getting traded. You know, we had this owner in Dallas. It's an interesting part of the story. The Hicks family.
Yeah.
Very, very conservative. They ended up losing the team because of embezzlement or something. He went out came out on the record and was like, he'll never play for our team again. Like talking about
you.
Me. So then the league suspended me 6 games, but they also sent me to the Canyon in Malibu, which was a rehab center for anger management.
Come on.
Yeah, I've heard of the Canyon.
I didn't even know they even offered that at Canyon. I thought it was just
for 30 days. Well, no, when I got there, they were like, the intake people were, it became like a joke. It was like, why are you here? You know,
Right.
I did meet an incredible, my roommate my roommate was Randy Newman. You remember Randy
Of course.
Newman?
I love L.A.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Your roommate during rehab?
Yeah. Yeah. So
And for a month? You guys must have had some great conversations.
30 days. Unbelievable conversation.
Especially you, someone, a pop culture aficionado.
Dude,
they almost did you a favor.
He was he is a legend.
And still in touch with him, right?
Yeah. Wow. Which is like
every Dodgers win, you hear his voice.
Yeah.
I love LA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it was wild because, I shouldn't have been there. But that was the consequence of one of the things I said. That was definitely the most heavily weighted one, for sure.
I mean, anger management? How about smart ass management? That's not anger, is it? Or maybe you said it in anger. I'm not sure.
That isn't anger at all. So this is what I always wanted to know is, so when you're playing hockey, what is before you're an actor, because I know you act also. So how do you meet the A-list actress? Is it a setup? Is there something that goes on a circle? Is there someone that's the is there management? Is there something?
No.
How do you even know, first of all, that when it's like you date a woman, you don't even know, first of all, if it's going to work. You don't know immediately. Oh, there's chemistry there, or how does that go? And you don't talk about her, but in general, how do you meet actresses?
I think again at that point, so 2008. Actually, we had met in like 2006. So 2006 LA, there was a real scene. Like we all, I don't say we, but I mean, I was a professional. I played for the LA Kings here, so I guess I was considered a celebrity. There were 2 nightclubs, Hyde, which was one. And for 2 years, it was like, every night of the week you could go in there and you would get a table, and your table beside you would be like whoever.
That was the jam. Hyde was the place.
This is Hyde's APM is actually Hyde's
the old office.
The mail still comes there from Sam Nazarian.
Sam Nazarian. But Alicia was also Canadian, and I was sort of friends with her. Well, not sort of. I was friends with her fiance, and I think that I don't know if it's ever been confirmed, but the story goes that Justin Timberlake, who is also her fiance's best friend, wrote this song. I know, connect the dots.
I was going to say, did he say to you that he got sloppy seconds?
No.
You did.
No. So, but the song, I can't remember. I'm blanking.
You mean
on
one of Timberlake's songs?
Yeah.
Dick in a Box?
I'm bringing sexy back.
No. It was the one Scarlett Johansson was in the video. Anyways,
hang on, I got Google.
That's how we met. We met through
at Hyde.
But it was more like a group of friends.
Right. I get it.
And I think we just got too close friend wise.
Okay.
So,
but
she's engaged at the time at your meeting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, so that was also part of the build up. Whenever we went back to Canada, she was extremely famous in Canada.
Right.
So was I, and it was the first time I think a hockey player had. There's not a lot of Canadian royalty, and she was on a huge fucking show.
Right.
I mean, you remember 24 was
She was huge, and then she was in Swim Fan. Remember that movie?
Yeah, or The Girl Next Door.
No, that's what it was. Was it Girl Next Door or both?
Yeah. No, I don't. She might
was
have been
not
in
in Swim Fan.
Swim Fan too.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
In Swim Fan. No.
Okay.
Swim Fan was great. Wasn't that Sherry Appleby?
No, that was that's Jesse Bradford and Erica Christensen maybe.
Okay.
Oh, I think that was, and Stocktip Dave was one of the lifeguards.
Yeah. Did you get that right off the top of your head, Dave? You didn't have to Google
No,
that?
I've seen the movie.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
I was actually watching it during our show.
But just to those times, 2006, 2007, LA, it was like T-Mobile used to throw these parties, these sidekick parties. You remember those parties?
Yeah.
They were like Brent Bolthouse. They were these huge.
Yeah. Paris Hilton had the sidekick.
There was so much stuff going on.
Yeah. I think of your career and the stops you've made. What is going on, for God's sake?
That was not me.
played in New York,
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Played in the Staples Center with the Kings. Dallas, you played in Detroit,
Yeah.
a hockey mecca. Was that fate? Was that luck? Did you make some of that happen? Because you can't live up to that bad boy persona, which, you had, whether you wanted it or not, but that doesn't really work in Calgary
Yeah.
or Edmonton.
Yeah, I think that I created I guess a brand that really would only live in sort of bigger markets. Now it started in Detroit, which was technically a small market, but it wasn't, because it was in my opinion, probably the single greatest team ever collected, the 2002 Red Wing team. And then it just kind of gradually moved. I wouldn't have done well in Calgary. I wouldn't have done well in
You would have forced your way
Pittsburgh.
out. Right?
Pittsburgh would not have been good. I wouldn't have lasted long there.
Yeah. How much pain is a hockey player in during the season? Because I try to put that into perspective. Because I covered it, right? I was a sports anchor for years. So the Blackhawks, the Bruins, the Coyotes, I'd see these guys.
Yeah.
And I just, the wear and tear on your body, and you guys don't have load management in the NHL for the most part. You're going out there.
No.
So is it a constant thing, pain management throughout that year?
Well, load management is funny. That didn't exist in any of the sports back then. The NBA didn't do it.
Michael never took a night off.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah. The
Plus, he had the
NFL
responsibility of performing in front of people that pay to see him.
Yeah. And he took that very serious. And that, I think, was a big part of his motivation. Let's go to the road and show the people how good I am. But I just started jiu-jitsu. Well, I'm 6 months into this whole jiu-jitsu journey, and I can't turn my neck, and I can't lift my arm above my shoulder. So in relation, that's normally how you felt during the course of a season. There was always something wrong with you, and hopefully you could go as long as you could go without having to have something that was so bad that it needed surgery. But yeah, and also you get good drugs, and you get good. The pain management is available, and it's nice, and it helps. And when the playoffs come, it gets even better. And
yeah, is the jiu-jitsu why you're feeling pain because of injuries you've had before, or is it because it's such intense training?
Such a different type of movement. You get your own arm wrapped around your own head. It's much different than the mechanics of what I have been used to. No, because I don't have a lot of old injuries. When it gets cold, when the weather's turning, I could feel it in my hands, my joints in my hands. I have some 4 or 5 days a year where maybe my joints are bad and I don't feel like getting out of bed. But, I feel pretty clear up top. Everything else is just, I can't tell also, right? Because I've always felt fucking terrible.
So me too.
Yeah,
Jesus,
since I was 20.
I know.
Maybe that's just life.
Jesus.
How many
Right?
goals did you score? 90? Is that about right?
Goals?
Yeah.
Fuck, I have no idea.
Did you know that he had the record for the fastest goal for the New York Rangers in a home game? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
10
either.
seconds
Wow.
to start a game.
Wow,
Scored
that's
within
cool.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I can kind of remember.
You talk to
he
golfers.
scored 9
Golfers
seconds.
remember
Scored
everything.
9 seconds at Hyde.
That was a slow night, damn it.
He's
That was a
on
Tuesday.
I
fire.
wish, Cato, I wish we could get the time machine and meet each other there.
That was at Denny's
You know
at
what?
lunch.
Well, I
I
would
feel-
extend the invite to you. Say, Cato, you come to Hyde, and you go, all right, I'll bring you to the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, what's funny is I bet you we did cross paths.
Yeah,
at
I'm
some-
sure.
I just
At
think
some
we
point.
must have. Because I remember seeing her
Yeah.
at Hyde a few times.
Yeah.
And that was. I always felt nervous because you're a player. Do you ever go to the thing where there's cameras flashing? The cameras are flashing, and you're inside the place, but you see the outside. The camera is like, oh, who's gonna walk in?
Yeah.
And I always am disappointed because if cameras were for me, I'd go. Oh, a lot of disappointment. It's only me.
I don't think so.
I would. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
I
but the
feel bad. Oh,
camera
it's
would
only
probably love
Kato.
it, though, because
No,
they
it's-
could have the banter and with your personality. They probably dug
Oh
it.
yeah, no. I always had
Yeah.
fun doing it because
Kato,
I was in on the joke.
I think you underestimate the even back then. I think if you walked in, we'd all be like, "Holy shit, that's Cato! It's Cato Kalin."
I love this
You
guy.
know,
So we probably did see each other at
Yeah.
some point. I just didn't recognize or didn't know, and that was it. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, everything is timing. It's like a meeting. from the last few of coming here to the studio. And I just automatically know, had I met, we'd be friends.
Yeah.
You just know. It's like, oh, this is a fucking great guy.
Well, we also have a little bit of conservative values in each other that and in the world that we've spoken about before. So that always helps.
Yep.
You know, Sean, when you retire from the NHL, you're not old, right? You've been out, 12 years already, haven't you? A dozen?
Maybe 10.
10 years or so?
Yeah.
So you can have a second, third, and maybe even a fourth act if you want it.
Yeah.
And Hollywood is part of it for you.
Yeah.
Do you still have that drive to crush it? I mean, how much are you loving doing the podcast? Do you want to do more acting? What's kind of the ultimate goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I auditioned. I had an audition at 11 o'clock this morning. I had one 2 days ago.
Isn't it nice now where you can just do it on tape?
Oh, it's so nice.
That's a game changer.
Is that was it on tape or was it?
Yeah, they were on tape, but I have a coach that I work with, so I go to the Valley and do it. But it's I feel as motivated for the grind today doing what I do as I did when I was like 20, trying to make the NHL.
Did you ever, it's so funny that you're here now at Connolly's studio.
Yeah.
Were you ever on Entourage? Did you ever try to get on?
No,
It would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, I think I got traded once the show. My New York years were the LA the Entourage years because guys that were on the Kings were on the show. But yeah, it's like 2 degrees, 6 degrees, 1 degree.
1 degree.
But I think creative, interesting people find each other.
Yeah,
I think that's what happens.
Did the I think because Mark Wahlberg was a producer, executive producer of Entourage, and then you're in Mile 22.
Yeah,
is that a Wahlberg? That's his film. Is it the connection at all, or is that just how did that process go?
It's actually Peter Berg,
Yep. Okay.
Who directed it. So yeah, indirectly, but Pete was like friends with Chelios because Pete did a show called Chicago Hope way back in the day, and yeah, it's just good people.
Yeah,
everybody's a friend of Chelios.
Yeah,
I mean, I was in Chicago at NBC when he was running Chicago.
Yeah,
like basically behind Michael.
Yeah,
but for a non-bowl, he was a major deal.
Oh yeah,
in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Yeah,
and especially because they didn't win that much. They weren't a great team in the mid to late '90s.
Yeah, Chelly is a Chicago staple. I've had Chicago. I've been in the back of a Chicago police car getting driven back to the hotel that we were staying at with Chelly. Like
that's like an Uber system for those guys, isn't
it? He's I've been in Stanley's, the bar that they used to hang out, and like Michael Jordan and Eddie Vedder and Bill Murray and Charles Barkley and like Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. I mean that crew there. Yeah. Jeremy Roenick,
JR for sure.
Those guys went hard. Yeah. Those are legendary OG athletes. Those Chicago teams, even the Bears teams at that point.
Yeah, because you could have fun you can't have right now.
No.
Number one, because everybody's watching you and trying to catch you doing something.
Yeah.
And everybody's just more uptight. Back then in Chicago, I was there from 95 to 98. I literally got to Chicago the day of Rodman's press conference.
Yeah.
Coming to the Bulls. And then I was there through that so everything that you saw in Last Dance, I was in the middle of.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, you cannot ever recreate that in my life.
No, they were running hard. They were doing shit that nobody, still to this day, nobody has any idea how hard those guys were going.
I'll tell you who runs hard because I did events with him and I love this guy, Sergey Fedorov, and if he's saying runs hard, I can't, it's true. They can hold vodka, Russians.
I was playing in a game on Sergey's team when Kornikova showed up at the MTV Movie Awards with Enrique Iglesias.
Yeah.
That was
like, and Sergey didn't know.
They're still together, by the way.
Yeah, they're still together. Yeah. They had kids. Yeah. But Sergey didn't know, and somebody had to tell him. It might have been Chelly. I'm almost positive it was Chelly had to tell him in between periods because he was going to get off the ice. It was everywhere. It was like on every fucking TV. And they had to tell him.
He didn't know. She said empty.
She kind of like idea. I think it happened very quick. But they were together a long time.
Yeah.
They like her IMG days. But yeah, I don't even know how we got there.
Yeah, I don't either. Hey,
I was saying it because of what goes right
Oh,
in the heart.
Sergey.
I used
Oh,
to,
Sergey.
I used to
Sergey.
host.
Oh no, but
you know, it's pain management too for a lot of guys, I would imagine. Right after a game, you go out and have a few. It's part of the culture.
listen, back then it was.
Mm-hmm.
Back then it was. Those
just a
guys.
routine.
Those guys would, and Michael was the same way. But they all hung out together. Like
Yeah.
there were times where I know it was a plane full of. It was like Michael, Chelly. Who else? They were going to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Like during the season,
Yeah.
on a day, 2 days off, they're gone.
Yeah.
People don't know the real story.
Well,
how-
I could tell you some of them because we did a show with Dennis Rodman every Sunday night at NBC.
Yeah.
And we actually got kicked out of Michael Jordan's restaurant because during sweeps, I think I told you the story, Cato, Rodman was so hammered.
Yeah.
He would, like the city stood still waiting to see what he would do
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
show. He showed up one time with his arms handcuffed together, wearing a Chicago policeman's outfit, which you can't do.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. His hands were handcuffed together. And this was right after they beat the Heat. It was a second round playoff series in 96. And we were at Michael Jordan's restaurant. We did the show there every Sunday night. And Jay Leno was there that night because it was his birthday. He was doing shows all week at the State Theater in Chicago. So we had him involved. And Rodman ended up falling backwards on his bar stool and breaking like 20 wine glasses. And the next day we were all at practice and we got the boot. We had to be at Planet Hollywood the next week. Michael said, "You're done.
Yeah.
You're done." But it was crazy. Rodman, he would show up drunk. He would walk into the studio when we weren't live at a location. And I knew when he was in the building because I could smell Benny Hanna.
Oh, yeah.
He would come with an entourage, as you can imagine. Benny Hanna all over his leather jacket. He'd put down his stack of cash like on my desk.
Yeah.
Because the set was right over here. He put it here, go sit down, do his thing, F-bomb this guy, curse out this. Just classic.
Yeah, well, that was back then when you carried cash. So
Carry
you
cash.
didn't want to sit on his wallet; it'd be uncomfortable.
And you know
That's
what else he did?
hilarious. That's
He-
a power move, putting
Yeah.
it on your desk and then going to another chair.
Without a doubt, man. I'm just looking, I'm just, oh, wow.
Hey, watch this for me, will you?
Hey, but you know what? Here's the other thing, you guys, he did. He ordered kamikazes by the dozen.
Yeah.
By the dozen.
Well, yeah, he's huge.
He has a huge ability to consume alcohol.
He went to North Korea, baby.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
that's right.
Him and Big Don.
Yeah, he's friends with the kids. the daughter's taking over,
Yeah.
and she's only 10.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever have a desire or offers to broadcast?
No, I think no, we're in a time now where I think you have to decide whether or not you want to be a shill or you don't want to be a shill.
That's too much
I like-
work, too, to work every
I like
game.
that because you're saying that because you're opinionated. Your opinion might come out, and if you said the one wrong thing, you're booted.
Yeah, if you're not on the program,
Totally,
you're not going to
gone.
last long.
And how could you give up what you have now where you can say whatever the hell you want?
I mean,
when
it's
you
just
want?
that's a line in the sand that I'm not real comfortable drawing yet.
Isn't it crazy? Thinking about working for ESPN back in the day would be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the glory
Yeah.
job. Perfect. And now it's almost be like, I'd rather go to prison
Yeah.
than work there. I mean, it's not even work.
No, they've driven.
They'll tell you what to say. Yeah.
They've driven anyone that's talented out onto their own.
And most of them have thrived.
Yeah.
Thrived. Look at Dan
Once-
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Disney Plus is bombing. We don't have a sponsorship, do we? Disney
Yeah,
Plus?
they bought a huge deal, man.
Of our show?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, and
it.
this is live. We're screwed. Bob Iger will be at our door.
No,
Anyway,
but
we don't-
I love that though, Sean. I love that because we had another guy on the show who got fired from ESPN, Dan Dakich,
Yeah.
who just because he speaks his mind.
Yeah.
And you could say the little things like that little blurb that Tom said about the second
Yeah.
fiddle, whatever it was. It's
Second fiddle,
whatever.
that's good. I like
second
that.
sloppy second.
Yeah.
Sloppy seconds, very Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Hey, get my sloppy seconds.
Oh yeah. No, now you would be castrated.
Yeah.
For that.
And
Come
I've been
on.
called a great lover and all that because women think I'm a great lover because they never come back for seconds. That's just
that
me,
good.
though. That's how good I am. They never come back for seconds. And I have a girl that loves to.
Are you in Milwaukee this weekend?
No, I'm actually going to be possibly Atlanta next weekend, but Chicago in May.
Okay.
For a comedy?
Yeah, I always like getting his dates. I want to make sure.
He was
we're-
Where were
you?
in Orange County last
Yeah.
year.
San Juan
Capistrano.
Oh yes, great.
He
How
killed
was
it.
it?
Sold out.
Good.
Yeah.
Killed
Great.
it.
Great.
Well, I was good. The crowd liked it. And
Good.
I liked it too.
Good.
I
Everyone had
think
fun. Good
they
vibes.
had fun. I feel bad for the woman that I married, Shang-Yi, because I make a lot of jokes about her and her Chinese culture.
Well, that's love, baby.
That's love. And she loves to make love 14 times a day. And I say, I say that. I said, thank God I got a lot of friends. But anyways, that's what I do. And yeah,
I know.
Yeah, you have nothing to complain about,
yeah,
Cato.
it was great. Fun. Milwaukee.
Can I go?
You're done. Sean,
you,
awesome,
guys.
man. Pretend you're leaving the penalty box. You're getting back onto your shift.
Dude,
okay?
honestly,
Go hit someone.
On fire. You got a show to do after this, and it's
Hey, let's get
Hey,
him a
thank
movie.
you for my T-shirt too.
Oh yeah. Ice War. Oh, it's right. Ice War.
Okay, nice. Sean, good seeing you.
Sean Avery,
Much
you're
appreciated.
golden.
All right.
Jiu-Jitsu in the house.
I've never done jiu-jitsu. I have no desire to do it, but I take it that's some sort of grappling. Yeah,
I did. I did.
By the way, Dave's giving me dirty looks. I'm like an intern. I got my phone ringing, my computer making noises, and I'm not even talking into the microphone.
It adds
the proper
show.
way.
I'm glad it was your phone. I thought I heard bells in my head. But yeah, what we were saying, I did
Jiu-jitsu.
I did Jeet Kune Do. Do you know that? Jeet Kune Do I trained for a long time.
I'm waiting for the punchline.
No, Bruce. That was Bruce Lee's form,
that
and
right?
I said I have to take what he taught, Jeet Kune Do.
Did you like the interpretation of that Tarantino, speaking of Quentin Tarantino, that he had in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood of Bruce Lee? Oh yeah, and Brad Pitt beat the shit out of him.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, it was great.
I thought so too.
I did too. It's
All right, well that was awesome. You know, Sean's the type of guy that you could go on and on and on.
yeah.
By the way, I was going to
He
do.
didn't want to leave, but he has to do a show.
Yeah, he's got his show next. I was going to do a TMZ off between you and him. I guarantee you there's never been a hockey player that's been in TMZ more than Sean Avery, and maybe no other athlete. He's got like 3 or 4 pages. You know? That's good.
When you told me, I researched all this stuff, I was like, wow. And his resume of dating the hottest women. And he's married. He's married, correct?
Yeah, he's married.
To
Yep.
a Victoria's Secret model, is that right? I used to date a Victorian secret model. She's back from 1814, so she's a little older.
Did you meet her at the Renaissance Festival?
Breasts are down to her toes. The Renaissance Festival.
She enjoyed a good
She's
turkey
a Victorian
drumstick.
secret model. I was trying that one out on you. You like it?
Yeah, use it, man. Somehow weave Shang-Yi into it too, man. There's got to be a way. All right, what else is up? Everything good? Ready to have a good week?
Yeah, buddy, it's great.
Little tease for next week. We got a good
Am I allowed
show
to say
planned.
what you just went through? Can
Yeah,
I say?
do it. Yeah.
I'm going to say what kind of guy Tom Zenner is. Did a show in Miami, flew, I think a morning, did a show, flew back that night, or did you wait a night?
Flew back that night.
Flew back that night. While he's moving, he did a move. And anybody that's been moved before, you know how tough it is. All in a day, and made the show today. I still can't believe you're here.
Thanks, Cato.
I know it's the same shirt, but
I had this shirt on when I flew to Miami on Tuesday. Today's Friday when we're taping this. I wore it to Miami and then through the night. And then I got up, I changed, and I was at the Miami Boat Show, which was awesome. Wow. You've heard of like mega yachts, right? It's what all these billionaires get.
Yeah.
And that's how they measure themselves against each other. See, you can have the biggest yacht. Cato, they are unbelievable. When you stand next to a 400-foot yacht worth about $500 million.
Obviously, it's on water.
Yes,
the
it's
event.
on. So the Miami Boat Show is really cool. 3 little areas and just so much going on. But that's a fun vibe. That's a cool crowd.
So
the people that are in that business, it's fun to hang with them.
So I'm guessing that it's at a marina.
Yeah, it's right near downtown Miami. You can.
Is the boats that you were talking about, the marina, are they charged a dock fee, or is it part of the show?
No, it's part of the show. So they're all there. There's hundreds and hundreds.
So
and
what's
hundreds. I think
what was
there's
the
like
largest
800
yacht?
to 1,000 boats.
How many feet?
Okay, so the one I saw was 400. All right, that was one of the mega yachts. But then you have row after row of just these bitchin' 100-footers that are floating hotel suites at the Four Seasons.
I bet on a few yachts, and I forgot there's an Italian brand that's like the
we met with them. I'm trying to think. There's there's a few of them.
That there's a name that is the elite, and I
yeah,
forget what
but
it
you
is.
know what? The Italian brand yachts. I'm no expert, trust me, but there's just a different feel for them. Just the elegance, man. Their priorities on style are just front and center.
Well, a 400-foot yacht that's like a Carnival cruise line, isn't it?
Literally. And the funny thing is they have like 4 quarters, right? So they only want 8 passengers. They have a 36-man crew. So that's how crazy it is. And,
never own a boat, Tom. Always have a
thank
friend
you. Exactly.
that has
I have no
a boat.
desire. Now, I did make some great relationships with charter companies because I wanted to take me from Miami to the Bahamas, but that's another story.
Let's do it.
Those are the friends to have.
We'll
And
go
you
to Atlanta.
Come on with,
Atlantis.
for sure. Okay, so good show coming up next week as well. An old friend of Cato's. It's, just synonymous with show business, scandal, celebrity lifestyle. So that's going to be really good.
Do you know who, Jim? Can we say his
Yeah,
name?
Jim Murray.
Jim Murray. Do you know who Jim's dad was, right?
No.
James Darren.
Singer.
Singer and actor.
Bobby Darin's brother? No.
No, James Darren. You Google.
Okay.
That's Jim's father.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Jim Murray, CNN for years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
You'll
Jim-
recognize
Jim-
the voice and his face.
Best-selling novel also. I
Yeah.
think it's called Your Last Day or something. I'll have it right by the time Jim's interview on Your Last Day.
All right, so thank you to Sean Avery. That was awesome. Listen to his podcast, No Gruffs Given.
Yep.
Listen to the episode with Cato on there. It was phenomenal.
Sean's great.
All right, so I will see you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good weekend. I've moved. I want you to come visit. Check out
Yeah,
the new
I can't
place.
wait. I can't wait, my friend.
Come on out. Okay. Make sure you download and subscribe. Big things happening with our show. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on social media, and we will be back here with another episode of 1 Degree of Scandalous.
Subscribe on YouTube.
For Cato Kalin, I'm Tom Zenner. We'll catch you next week.